And this is what we're working through, this is what we're healing when we're talking about finding our authentic voice and speaking our truth. Hello beautiful souls, I'm Sasha, welcome back to my channel, here to support you in living your most abundant life. This video is all about finding your voice and speaking your truth. Speaking out loud with your authentic voice is one of the foundational principles for living a fulfilled and abundant life and attracting the things that you truly desire. And if you want to dive into that a little bit deeper, I'll link a couple of my videos up here for you on just that topic. Finding your voice is truly about having the courage to live as the fullest expression of yourself, to really know who you are and to speak from that place. This video is for you if you are constantly checking what you're saying in your head, or you're a total social chameleon where depending on the situation you voice completely different things, or you find yourself blending in with what the general conversation is, even if it's not what you think. So how do we do this? Just know that if you've been engaging in people-pleasing behaviors for your whole life, then this is going to feel challenging. But that's okay, because you can do hard things. I believe in you, you can do this. First, we have to reconnect your heart to your throat. So we're going to be working on this channel. So I tend towards using the chakra system, which is a way of identifying different energy within the body. And we're going to be working with the heart chakra and the throat chakra today. To rebuild this connection, you literally need to speak out loud what is on your heart in the moment. This is a really important part. It's in the present moment. It's easy for any of us to reflect back and say, 2 weeks ago I felt like this. It's not scary anymore, right? But this is all about being present and speaking presently from our hearts. Step one is to practice labeling the sensations and the feelings that are happening in your body. So you can do this with yourself to start off with, but you have to make sure that you say it out loud. So here's one really good way of doing it. After I explain the instructions, you can pause this video and do it right now. So you can sit, lie down somewhere quiet, shut down your eyes and do a body scan. By this, I mean literally take your mind into the different parts of your body and check in with how it's feeling. We're going to use descriptive words here rather than attach emotional labels to it. Here's an example. Take my mind into my feet. My feet feel heavy right now. My left leg hot and tingly. My right knee feels tight and my hips loose and fluid, like they want to move. And keep going like this up your body, cover your whole body, just labeling the sensations. Remember, this is no judgments, no analysis, literally just speaking what you're feeling as you experience them. So if you already feel good with that and you're confident saying it out loud as well, then we'll move on to step two. This is where we label the emotional state that's happening in each moment. And we want to do this as much as possible. If you're someone who's really not used to voicing how you're feeling, especially if, you know, when people ask, how are you? And you just say, I'm fine, you're never really telling the truth about how you're feeling. As I was practicing this, I used to literally do it 100 times a day. But maybe make sure you're not in a place where people might be like, what is she doing? You're literally just gonna, again, you can shut down your eyes if you need to. You're gonna go inside and you're just gonna say out loud how you're feeling. For me right now, I feel relaxed, happy, I feel calm. I want you to go ahead and do this now as well. How exactly are you feeling? Say the words out loud. And don't be surprised if you have resistance to this, especially if you are experiencing challenging emotions. It might be really difficult. The one that was really hard for me was anger. I found it really challenging to say out loud, I feel angry, because I'd never let anger have a space in my world before. So when I went inside and I realized that that heat and that churning around my solar plexus area was anger, and that power that was coursing through my veins, and I realized that was anger, I was like, whoa. And I found it really difficult to be like, oh my gosh, I am angry, I feel angry. But this is really important, especially with those challenging emotions. Got to get used to feeling it and saying out loud as it's happening. So what we're doing here is building that muscle of being present to your inner world and saying it out loud at the same time. And this is a really low risk way of doing it. This is just you with you being you. And you can probably guess what the next step is. We're going to practice doing it with someone else. Now I really recommend that you find a safe space to do this, especially if you're not used to it. Find a coach, a therapist, a healer, someone who you can actually trust to hold a loving container for you to speak your truth without judgment. This is really important work that I do with clients, is holding that loving space for them so they can just be with whatever is present for them in the moment. Again, don't underestimate how challenging this might be if you're used to always filtering what you're going to say. So let yourself feel that resistance. You'll feel it in this part of your body. You'll feel something on your heart, maybe sadness, and there will be a physical sensation blocking this area, and it will be really hard to say the words, I am sad. This is hard, and it may sound like it's easy, but it can be a real challenge. And hold yourself, be really gentle with yourself while doing this. And this is why I recommend working with a therapist, a coach, or healer if you're not used to saying these things out loud. This is the part where it also gets really interesting. So not only will you feel that blockage, but your mind will come into play, and your mind will start telling you this isn't safe, don't do this, and it will start giving you reasons to not speak your truth. It's that voice that comes from the stories from your past that say, if you say what's truly on your heart, you're going to be judged, you're going to be bullied, you're going to be abused, that it's actually dangerous for you to be this vulnerable. This is a really vulnerable thing to do, right? This is what we're accessing here, this is what we're tapping into. So don't be surprised if your mind, if your ego kind of kicks up a fuss. This is the wounded part of you that's saying it's dangerous to do this. And this is what we're working through, this is what we're healing when we're talking about finding our authentic voice and speaking our truth. We're healing those wounds that tell us it's not safe to do that. This is why it's so crucial how you approach doing these exercises. So on the one hand, you want to make sure that when you're working with someone else, it's in a safe space and you trust that person, that coach, that therapist, that healer, that friend, whoever it is, to hold that space for you non-judgmentally. And also at the same time, you've got to focus on cultivating that non-judgmental, loving space within yourself, so that when a challenging feeling does come up, you're not judging yourself for being in that space. I used the example of anger before. I had so much judgment around myself being angry. I did not want to let myself be angry. So I've spoken about it before, about childhood abuse that I was just furious about, and I hadn't let any of those emotions come out. So speaking my truth meant saying out loud how furious I was that this had happened to me, and letting that rage be expressed. That was really hard, and I had to cultivate non-judgment and allow myself to be angry. So when I said I'm angry, my mind had to say to myself, it's okay, you're allowed to be angry, you're allowed to be sad, you're allowed to have these feelings. As you do this work, you will naturally expand beyond just saying what is true for you in terms of your feelings in your body in the moment, and you will start to have more fuller expression about your opinions on the collective, on what other people are doing, on things that are happening in the world, and you will find that your authentic voice, not just on present moment feelings but on other things, will also grow. As you become more accustomed to this, you will notice a shift in how other people respond to you and how other people react to you. Some people may gently disappear from your life, right? Because you are living a more fuller expression of you, and other people in your life might have preferred the other version of you, the smaller version. So then you're no longer connected so deeply with those people. So just know that this can be a consequence, but the people who really love you for who you are and support your growth and expansion will want you to keep doing this, and they will be in full praise of you. But let me know in the comments, do you find it hard to speak what's on your heart? What kind of stories come up in your head when you try and do this? If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. There are new videos every Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. Loving you infinitely. See you next week.